Soft ambience drifting away, load on ambience. Floating through blue hours between the night and dawn, silver shadows drifting slowly as the last of midnight fades. The room feels weightless in the silence, street lights dim beneath the rain. Everything moves soft and distant, like memories dissolving away. Resting by the window, moonlight trembling on the floor, and somewhere underneath the stillness my heart doesn't ache anymore. Maybe peace exists in moments too quiet for the world to notice, like breathing slowly inside the softest part of night, floating through blue hours, soft skies turning gray, slow heartbeats, quiet rain, everything drifting peacefully. And all the noise I carried yesterday feels farther with each passing breath, while morning waits somewhere beyond the pale electric clouds. Curtains moving with the cool wind, blue reflections on the walls. Distant trains hum through the darkness, then disappear beyond it all. The whole city feels suspended, like it's breathing half asleep. And every tiny sound around me feels softer and more deep. I close my eyes beside the silence, letting thoughts dissolve like smoke. And for once I stop resisting the calmness moving through my soul. Sometimes healing feels like floating, not arriving, not escaping, just existing quietly enough to hear your own heart soften. No dramatic transformation, no sudden burst of light, only slow blue hours carrying you gently toward the morning. Everything becoming still, and somewhere underneath the quiet, a gentler version of me survives, drifting softly through the darkness toward the early light. Soft humming dissolves reverb slowly. Rain ambience drifting away. Blue hour skies, morning near, everything healing, soft and clear. Floating through blue hours between the night and dawn, silver shadows drifting slowly as the last of midnight fades. The room feels weightless in the silence, street lights dim beneath the rain. Everything moves soft and distant, like memories dissolving away. A cold cup resting by the window, moonlight trembling on the floor. And somewhere underneath the stillness, my heart doesn't ache anymore. Maybe peace exists in moments too quiet for the world to notice, like breathing slowly inside the softest part of night. Floating through blue hours, soft skies turning gray, slow heartbeats, quiet rain, everything drifting peacefully. And all the noise I carried yesterday feels farther with each passing breath. While morning waits somewhere beyond the pale electric clouds. Curtains moving with the cool wind, blue reflections on the walls. Distant trains hum through the darkness, then disappear beyond it all. The whole city feels suspended, like it's breathing half asleep. And everything moves off. Soft ocean waves at 3 a.m. moving softly through the room. Curtains drifting in the darkness beneath the pale blue moon. Harbor lights glow far away, like scattered stars across the sea. Everything feels slow and weightless, like the night is carrying me. A half-empty cup beside the window, salt air cooling on my skin. And somewhere underneath the silence, my breathing settles in. Maybe peace sounds like ocean water, endlessly rising and falling, soft enough to quiet every thought I tried too hard to hold. Ocean winds at 3 a.m., silver waves beneath the sky, soft blue shadows, slow heartbeats, everything drifting tonight. And all the noise inside my chest fades into the midnight tide, while moonlight moves across the water, like healing through the dark. balcony rail feels cold beneath my hands. Rain clouds moving slowly past. A distant foghorn calls softly, then dissolves into the vast. Inside the apartment, low jazz echoes like smoke floating through the air, and every little sound around me feels softer than despair. The sea keeps breathing endlessly beyond the sleeping harbor lights, and somehow all this endless darkness doesn't feel lonely tonight. Maybe healing feels enormous, like standing at the edge of the ocean, realizing how small your sadness is against the movement of the world. No sudden transformation, no dramatic release, just the quiet understanding that it's okay to rest a while. Everything's softening again. Somewhere underneath the midnight waves, a gentler version of me survives, while the ocean keeps moving endlessly through the dark blue night. Soft humming, dissolving into ocean breathing silver skies. Everything healing soft tonight. Stars over the lake, silver skies and endless dark, warm souls, slow heartbeats, everything glowing peacefully. And somewhere underneath the constellations, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the midnight silence, like light across the waves. Tiny ripples move like galaxies beneath the midnight blue, and somewhere underneath the stillness, my heart grows quiet too. Maybe peace feels endless, like staring at the stars long enough for your thoughts to disappear. Stars over the lake, soft light in the dark, slow breathing, cool night winds, everything floating endlessly. And all the heaviness I carried falls softly into the water below, while constellations shimmer slowly across the sleeping waves. breeze. Somewhere far beyond the silence, an owl cries softly in the night breeze. The whole sky feels endless above me, like oceans made of light, and every little sound around me feels impossibly small. Tonight I close my eyes beside the water, letting old thoughts wash away, like moonlight breaking softly across the darkened lake. Sometimes healing feels cosmic, not joy, not sadness, just becoming still enough to feel connected to everything. No dramatic revelation, no sudden transformation, only silence, stars, and a soul finally at rest. Skies and endless dark, warm soul, slow heartbeats, everything glowing peacefully. And somewhere underneath the constellations, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the midnight silence, like light across the waves. Soft humming, dissolving into reverb, like water, like water. Ambience fading slowly, stars above, water below, everything healing, soft and slow. Soft and light, northern lights and static, dancing softly through the sky, green and silver waves above me, moving slow across the night. Snow falls gently past the window, blue shadows across the floor. Everything feels far and weightless, like I've been here before. An old radio hums beside me, half-lost voices in the haze. And somewhere underneath the silence, my heart begins to change. Maybe peace feels infinite, like staring into endless skies, until your thoughts dissolve away. Northern lights and static, soft colors in the dark, slow breathing, cold night air, everything floating endlessly. And all the heaviness I carried disappears beneath the stars, while the sky keeps moving softly above the frozen earth. snowfall, firelight glowing faint and gold. Tiny sparks drift through the fireplace against the deep Arctic cold. Outside the forest sleeps in silence, frozen underneath the moon. And every little sound around me feels impossibly removed. I pull the blanket closer slowly, watching static blur the room. And for once the world feels gentle, even in the endless blue. Sometimes healing feels cosmic, like realizing your sadness is only one small thing inside something infinite. No dramatic revelation, no sudden transformation, just a quiet soul becoming still beneath a moving sky. Floating cinematic textures, wide atmospheric rivers, northern lights and static, soft green across the night, warm firelight, cold silence, everything glowing peacefully. And somewhere underneath the endless sky, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the frozen darkness, like light across the snow. Soft humming, dissolving into reverb, vintage radio static fading slowly. Ambient roads echoes, warm atmospheric haze, northern lights, winter skies, everything healing, soft tonight. Soft and slow. Desert skyline radio, low jazz humming through the dark, headlights stretching down the highway like fireflies beyond the stars. The night feels endless in the distance, silver moonlight on the sand. Everything moves slow and weightless, like time slipping through my hands. Warm air drifting through the windows, engine humming soft and low. And somewhere underneath the silence, my restless heart lets go. Maybe peace feels wide and empty, like desert roads at midnight, where nothing asks you who you are. Desert skyline radio, soft static in the night, slow breathing, open skies, everything floating endlessly. And all the noise I carried with me disappears beneath the stars, while moonlight rolls across the highway like waves across the dark. station. Lights glow in the distance and slowly disappear behind. The radio plays old soul records, soft echoes through the night. Telephone wires stretch forever, black against the silver blue. And every mile feels dreamlike, like the skies are pulling through. I drive without a destination, no need to outrun anything, only the quiet desert breathing, the stillness settling in. Sometimes healing feels enormous, like standing underneath the sky, too wide for sadness to survive inside. No dramatic revelation, no sudden change, just a tired soul dissolving softly into the movement of the night. Slow heartbeats, everything drifting peacefully. And somewhere underneath the endless sky, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the darkness toward the fading dissolving into river. Soft humming, desert skyline, midnight road. Everything healing, soft and slow. Fireflies in July, drifting softly through the dark. Tiny golden constellations floating slowly through the yard. Warm night air against my skin, tall grass moving with the breeze. Everything feels half asleep beneath the whispering trees. The whole world glows in silence, soft green light and fading blue. And somewhere underneath the summer sky, my heart feels lighter too. Maybe peace feels small and fragile, like tiny lights appearing quietly in the middle of the dark. Fireflies in July, soft gold in the night, slow breathing, warm winds, everything floating peacefully. And all the heaviness I carried melts into the summer air, while little lights keep dancing softly beneath the endless sky. somewhere a distant radio fades low. Moonlight rests across the wildflowers, silver in the evening glow. The air smells sweet like rainfall, and earth still warm beneath my feet. Every tiny sound around me feels impossibly serene. I close my eyes beside the silence, letting thoughts drift far away, like fireflies dissolving slowly into the humid summer haze. Sometimes healing feels like childhood, like remembering the world before fear became so loud. No dramatic revelation, no sudden transformation, just a quiet soul sitting still long enough to feel wonder again. Shining gently now, and somewhere underneath the starlight, a softer version of me survives, floating softly through the summer night, like golden little sparks. Dissolving into reverb. Night insects fading slowly. Night insects fading slowly. Fireflies glowing. Summer skies. Everything healing, soft. Polaroid memories scattered softly on the floor. Faded faces glowing golden from another life before. Late night shadows fill the apartment, blue street lights against the walls. Everything feels warm and distant, like echoes through an empty hall. I trace the edges of the pictures, smiling at the younger me, back before the world grew heavy, back before I learned to leave. Maybe healing feels like remembering without needing to go back to who you were. Polaroid memories, soft gold in the dark, slow breathing, quiet rooms, everything floating gently now. And all the pain inside those moments feels softer from this side of time, while old photographs keep glowing beneath the midnight light. Coffee grows cold beside the window, rain keeps falling through the blue. Tiny reflections move like water across the photographs in room. There's a picture by the ocean, one outside a cheap motel, one where everybody's laughing before life scattered us elsewhere. And strangely now the sadness doesn't break me, it just passes slowly through, like hearing distant music from another season of your life. Sometimes peace feels like acceptance, not forgetting, not returning, just holding old memories gently without letting them pull you under. No dramatic revelation, no sudden release, only the quiet understanding that you survived every version of yourself. Slow heartbeats, everything glowing peacefully. And somewhere underneath the photographs, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the silence, like dust in golden light. Soft humming, dissolving into reverb, final crackle fading slowly. Final crackle fading slowly. Old photographs, rain outside, everything healing, soft tonight. Snowfall on Bleecker Street, quiet covering the night, amber windows glowing softly through the pale electric white. Footsteps fade beneath the snowfall, taxi lights drift slowly by, and the whole world feels suspended underneath the winter sky. There's a jazz bar closing somewhere, low music leaking through the cold, like a memory still breathing, warm against the falling snow. Everything feels slower here, like the night itself is resting. And for once, my tired mind stops reaching for tomorrow. Snowfall on Bleecker Street, soft white silence everywhere, cold blue air, warm cafe lights, floating gently through the storm. And all the heavy things I carried disappear beneath the snow, while the city keeps breathing quietly under winter skies. dissolving in the air. Someone laughs across the avenue and vanishes somewhere. The bookstore on the corner glows gold against the silver street, and every passing little moment feels impossibly serene. I pull my coat a little tighter, watching snow collect on cars, and somehow all this frozen silence feels softer than my heart. Maybe healing sounds like snowfall, quiet enough to barely notice, until suddenly the whole world changes without a sound. No dramatic revelation, no bright awakening, just a tired soul standing still while winter softens everything. Empty roads, slow heartbeats, quiet nights, everything drifting peacefully. And somewhere underneath the snowfall, a calmer version of me appears, while New York disappears softly into the winter haze. Dissolving into river, snow wind fading slowly, snow wind fading slowly. Everything healing soft and slow. Ethereal healing, ambient gesso, with every whisper, thinking about. I know the pain of the night with me, I know that's fine. I'm dull enough for you, and I'll be fine. Just wonder if it's not all I gotta be filled with you. Just wonder if forest rain ambience, floating cinematic paths, warm final crackle, wide atmospheric reverse. Breaks through the branches, golden through the fading gray. Everything feels washed and quiet, like the storm carried pain away. The earth still smells like rainfall, cold moss underneath my feet. And somewhere underneath the silence, my breathing turns soft and deep. Healing feels like nature, slowly restoring everything without needing to be seen. After the forest rain, soft light through the mist, slow heartbeats, cool air, everything glowing peacefully. And all the heaviness I carried melts into the morning fog, while water drips from silent branches into the waking earth. Tiny rivers move through stone paths, birdsong echoes through the pines. Sunlight trembles on the water like silver threads of time. The whole forest feels alive now, breathing slowly after sleep. Every little sound around me feels impossibly serene. I close my eyes beside the silence, letting old thoughts drift away, like rainwater disappearing softly into the roots beneath the ground. Sometimes peace feels ancient, like forests standing quietly long before we learn sadness. No dramatic revelation, no sudden transformation, just a tired soul remembering how to feel small in a beautiful way. After the forest rain, golden mist and silver skies, warm sunlight, slow breathing, everything beginning again. And somewhere underneath the quiet trees, a gentler version of me survives, floating softly through the morning air, like light through the leaves. To reverb, birdsong fading slowly, birdsong fading slowly, forest breathing. reborn. Silver water on the pavement, reflecting pale early morning. Streetlights shimmer through the puddles like fading stars beneath my feet. Everything feels strangely quiet, soft and clean and incomplete. The windows breathe cool midnight air, curtains drifting slow and blue. And somewhere underneath the silence, my heart feels lighter too. Maybe healing sounds like this, the world growing quiet after carrying the storm for too long. After the rain stops, soft silver skies, slow breathing, warm shadows, everything glowing gently now. And all the noise I carried yesterday washes softly down the street, while the city dries beneath the morning like a soul learning peace. Cars move slowly through the wet streets, their headlights trembling gold. Tiny rivers running softly past the corners of the road. A distant train hums through the darkness, then disappears beneath the dawn. And every little sound around me feels calmer than before. Steam rises from forgotten coffee, the room glows faintly amber white. And for the first time in forever, I don't feel afraid of tomorrow night. Sometimes peace arrives quietly, not as joy, not as certainty, but as the gentle absence of all the weight you used to carry. No dramatic awakening, no sudden light, just a tired soul realizing it survived the storm. Atmospheric textures, softer the rain stops, blue morning skies, soft heartbeats, quiet rooms, everything beginning again. And somewhere underneath the fading clouds, a softer version of me remains, watching silver water shimmer slowly through the early light. Soft humming dissolving, dissolving into a river. Distant dripping rainwater, warm atmospheric haze. Rain has ended, morning glows, everything healing, soft and slow. Morning fog in the hills, drifting softly through the pine trees. Silver light across the valley, like a dream waking slowly. Coffee steam beside the window, golden sunlight through the haze. Everything feels weightless here, far beyond the noise and strain. The cabin creaks beneath the stillness, old wood breathing with the air. And somewhere underneath the silence, my heart feels lighter there. Maybe healing feels like distance, far from neon lights and crowded rooms, close enough to hear yourself again. Morning fog in the hills, soft skies turning gold, slow breathing, quiet soul, everything moving gently now. And all the heaviness I carried melts into the mountain air, while sunlight pours between the pine trees, like peace falling everywhere. Raindrops cling to leaves like diamonds, shimmering beneath the dawn. Tiny rivers move through wildflowers as the cold blue night moves on. The world feels endless from this window, clouds rolling slowly through the peaks, and every breath grows softer now, like the earth itself is singing. I wrap both hands around the coffee, watching mist dissolve away. And for once I stop searching for words to explain anything. Sometimes peace feels almost ancient, like mountains standing quietly long before our sadness arrived. No dramatic transformation, no sudden revelation, just a tired soul remembering what calmness feels like beneath an open sky. Shadows, slow heartbeats, everything glowing peacefully. And somewhere underneath the sunrise, a gentler version of me remains, floating softly through the pine air into the waking day. Healing, soft and bright. Soft ocean wave ambience, floating rose piano, distant foghorn in the night. harbor lights drift far away, like dreams I don't chase anymore. The salt hanging in the air tonight, mixed with rain and gasoline. And somewhere ships keep moving slowly beyond the edge of what I see. I sit wrapped inside the silence with both hands around a cooling cup, watching reflections shake and shimmer as the tide keeps rising up. Maybe hearts are like the ocean, always moving underneath, even when the surface looks still. There are waves we cannot see. There's an ocean between the lights, between who I was and who I'm becoming. Soft tides pulling through the night, like the world is slowly humming. And I don't need to understand it all, I just want this quiet feeling. Moonlight drifting on the water, while something deep inside me heals. TV flickers without sound, old movies glow in silver white. Rain slides slowly down the balcony as boats disappear into the night. I remember how I used to panic at every silent empty room. Now the stillness feels almost sacred, like floating weightless in the blue. A siren echoes through the distance, then fades beneath the ocean. And every passing little moment feels softer than it did back then. Maybe peace is not a destination, maybe it's this temporary glow. A midnight room, a rainy coastline, a soul finally learning to move slow. No perfect ending, no sudden breakthrough, just breathing underneath the stars, letting the dark ocean carry all the heavy parts. There's an ocean between the lights and all the lives we leave behind us. Soft waves moving through the dark, like the night itself, reminding us that we don't have to hold forever every fear we've ever felt. Sometimes healing sounds like water moving quietly through ourselves. Ocean waves fading slowly, soft roads echoes, distant foghorn on beams. Moonlight on the water, city lights far away, everything floating, soft and gray. Floatings in the past, faint birds beginning outside. 4 a.m. and the city fades, streetlights dim beneath the dawn. The sky turns slowly silver gray, like the night is moving on. Coffee warming tired hands, windows slightly open wide. Cold air drifting through the curtains, while the world stays quiet outside. There's a softness in these early hours that daylight never seems to hold. Like time itself grows slower here, gentler than before. Maybe the soul needs mornings like this, half asleep between dark and light. A place where heavy thoughts dissolve before the world begins to rise. This is where the morning begins, softly breathing through the window. Tiny light across the room, like a tired heart waking slowly. And I don't need to be someone else tonight. I can finally just exist, while the first birds sing beyond the rooftops, and the sky forgives everything. Lamp turns off downstairs. A train hums somewhere far away. Blue shadows disappear slowly as darkness melts into the gray. I used to fear the coming morning like another weight to bear. Now these quiet in-between hours feel almost sacred in the air. Steam rises softly from the kitchen, old songs echo low and thin, and every little ordinary sound feels beautiful again. Maybe healing is not dramatic, maybe it arrives unnoticed, like morning light across the floor, touching everything without asking. No grand revelation, no sudden change, just the nervous system learning calm, and a soul exhausted from surviving, finally learning how to rest. This is where the morning begins, slowly glowing through the silence. Soft gold light across the walls, like the whole world turning weightless. And maybe I was never truly broken, only tired for too long. Now the sky keeps opening wider, and I finally breathe alone. Soft humming, dissolving into reverb. Morning birds outside the window, ambient piano fading slowly. Atmospheric haze, morning light, open sky, everything healing by and by. Sunday morning, record store, golden sunlight through the glass. Dust particles drift like tiny stars inside the quiet warmth. Old soul record softly spinning, low jazz echoing through the room. Everything feels slow and peaceful, like waking from a gentle dream. Coffee steam beside the counter, soft reflections on the floor. And somewhere underneath the music, my heart feels calm once more. Maybe healing feels ordinary, like soft music. Morning light and nowhere urgent left to be. Sunday morning record store, warm gold in the air. Slow breathing, quiet smiles, everything glowing gently now. And all the heaviness I carried feels lighter in the morning sun, while old songs float softly through me, like memories without pain. Faded album covers line the walls, stories frozen out of time. Someone flips through dusty records, lost somewhere inside the sound. Outside the city moves slowly, rainwater drying in the streets. And every little moment here feels impossibly serene. I close my eyes beside the music, letting all thoughts drift away, like static fading from a station somewhere far beyond the noise. Sometimes peace feels beautifully simple, a quiet room, soft jazz playing, sunlight across wooden floors. No dramatic revelation, no sudden transformation,